So first I take a picture frame, one that has not been used. This has basically sat in my drawer for a long time, and I really haven't found a use for it just yet. So that makes it perfect for this craft. So I make sure to take off the backing and remove any stickers that might be still on the glass. Afterwards, I just do some prep by just getting, again, that backing that was originally on the frame and just putting it underneath it as I prepare to cover it with paint. So you want to use enough paint to make sure that you're completely coating the glass. In this instance, I'm using acrylic paint, but you can also use spray paint as I did for my original test frame. And so from here, you just want to make sure that you are spreading the paint out, making sure that it's not completely opaque. So some light should be able to still get through, but you want to make sure that the glass is fully covered. And once you've spread out the paint fully and thinly, you just want to give it some time to dry. So while it was drying, I just searched for a reference photo that I wanted to use. So since it is just about to be the fall season as I'm making this, I wanted to go for something Halloween inspired. And so I found this really cute photo of some jack-o'-lanterns that were actual lanterns. And so this is what I wanted to use as my inspiration. So as you can see, it's basically fully dry. There's still some tacky spots, that's fine. But from there, you want to start carving into the paint. Now, you can use a lot of tools, but something that I like to use that I'm using in this video is a mechanical pencil, just because it gives you some really nice fine lines. And so the detail comes out a bit better. And so with this, I'm not just going completely off of the design, I'm adding in some of my own touches just to make it fun. And so here is the final product. I'm really happy with it, and it fits in perfectly with the rest of our Halloween decor.
And now for our flower garland. So I made a cone shape, and then I had a rolled magazine page and curled it up. Stuck it through there and put a little glue on outside and inside, and then just put it to the side to dry. I folded a piece of paper back and forth, made a little fan, went up, put it through the string through the middle, just so the garland ends up with a bunch of different kind of pretend flowers. Made another fan, pulled it out, and this one I'm going to glue onto the string the flat part, and so you want it on the string side that's going to hang down because it'll just flip and twist up the string. So I mean, you can't really make mistakes, so it's okay. So I used way more glue than I needed to, but it's okay. It's school glue. It's perfect. It's cheap. Anyway, you put that on. Here's another one I made. I haven't put it on the string yet. It's just a bunch of little petals cut out of the magazine, and then I went around and folded or pinched the different petals so it gave it some dimension when it's hanging up there. And the idea is just to do whatever you want, just make different shapes. So it's not too boring. And nice, whatever colors you want. So I just spent a lot of time looking through different magazines looking for colors because I wanted this one to be colorful. I think my next one would be a newspaper one, and then I would paint the edges with red. But this one I just wanted to do a lot of different colors, and I found a fabric catalog, which was really quite fine, but any magazine would work. And you just find your patterns and cut your little leaves and your little whatever shapes you want, and make a bunch of them, and then put them on the string, and you have your home decor. So here it is. Probably should not have tried to shoot it with the backlight of the window, so you can't really see the great colors, but there it is. And it was easy to make.
And so for my second craft, I decided to try to use coffee filters as the paper and using food coloring for the dye. Now this is my first experiment. It didn't go the way that I expected it to. So it turns out these colors were gel colors. And so it came out a lot more concentrated than I had hoped. What I ended up doing is blowing up a balloon after I let these coffee filters dry with the colors that were on them, cutting them up into shreds like this, and then gluing them onto the balloon to make a half circle shape, I guess a half spherical shape. Once everything was glued on, I gave it a chance to dry. And so as you can see here, there's not really a lot of light coming through. And so I wasn't really satisfied with this. And so I decided to try it again, but go a different method. So I did the same method as before with the coffee filters and cutting them up into slices. But instead I watered down the food coloring to make almost a watercolor. And I just started dyeing them, dyeing the coffee filters as they were already drying on the balloon. And so first I did this with red and blue, and then afterwards I added in some yellow and green to give that rainbow effect as before. And I like the way this came out a lot better. And so I gave this some time to dry, and then once it dried, I went and popped the balloon, in which, yes, be forewarned that the filter is going to crumple in whenever you cut it, but you can just spread it out afterwards. But as you can see, it is a lot different from my previous attempt. Again, I like this one way better. And as you can see here with a side-by-side, there's a lot more light coming through with the new design. And so now that I tested it, I wanted to actually make it into a lantern. I took some yarn that I already had and threaded it through some holes that I punched in, and then I tied it up, and now I have an actual lantern.
So I got 4 sticks and tracing paper and a little box, and I'm going to put glue the sticks into each corner of the box. You don't need dividers, they have nothing to do with it. And hot glue would work better, but white glue is. So I had this image that I liked and just put the paper over it and traced it with pencil first, and then I got some markers that had paintbrush ends, and they were pretty light colors. So I went over the pencil marks and filled in some stuff. I have copyright to the image, but if you use someone else's image, just make sure you have permissions or whatever. And give them credit if it's an exact copy. Anyway, so I filled the rest in, and we'll see how that looks. So I wrapped it around the sticks in the box, and I got one of these little battery candle things because it's paper, and put it in the middle of the bottom. And it's kind of not too great without the candlelight, but the candlelight makes it awesome.
So I'm really happy with the crafts that I came up with. It gave me a new way to see some of the items that I already had in my home. But yeah, I want to keep doing things like this in the future. It was really fun.
It's a nice challenge. You have stuff that, you didn't buy for the purpose and it's not perfect for the design, and you put things together, and sometimes it turns out interesting.